Buongiorno a tutti, grazie per essere qua. Attendiamo ancora 2 o 3 minuti per aspettare gli ultimi ritardatari, aspettare le ultime persone che entrino e poi iniziamo. Ok, direi di iniziare, poi man mano le persone si aggiungeranno in caso. Intanto io vi ringrazio di nuovo per esservi registrati a questo webinar e per essere presenti oggi. Io sono Arianna, per chi non mi conoscesse sono marketing specialist di Ecos e in questo webinar vi presenteremo Labyrinth, una nuova soluzione con cui abbiamo iniziato a collaborare e che fa parte della nostra Business Unit Innovation Hub guidata da Michele Bondi. Oggi vi presenteremo appunto Labyrinth, in particolare vi vorremmo mostrare come questa tecnologia di deception sia in essa vediamo una soluzione verticale per la security in ambito OT e come sia atta a supportare la compliance alla normativa NIS2. A parlarne sarà Pavel, che vi presento, CEO di Labyrinth, e quindi a questo punto io lascerei la parola a Pavel. Pavel, you have the floor.
Hello. Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you very much to all of you for registration for our webinar. And I will just share my screen and start presenting Labyrinth. Please, if you have any questions, leave it on the chat or Q&A so we can answer at the end of the session. I will share with you my presentation, and also I will do a small demo at the end of the slides, but first I will focus on the introduction. As I understand, you see my screen well, and you hear me also clearly. Okay. So, Labyrinth, I will make a brief information introduction to give you the context of the solution. Thanks to ICOS, who is our exclusive distributor in Italy, this product is ready to be presented to your potential customers, and we are happy to support you with all the process. So, usually the presentation I'm doing right now for you is the same presentation I use for customers. And I start with one statement, which is very true these days, especially in the context of attacks that are also driven by AI, by the attackers. So the hackers need to be right only once. When you, as defender, you need to think about many things, about patching, about configuration, about covering all the possible vectors of the attack. So what we want to do with Labyrinth as our mission, our vision, is to switch the balance in favor of defenders. Okay, so we want to provide as Labyrinth a tool that actually positions the defender team in advantage of the hackers. Okay, so what is the situation in 2026? Where are we? So as you know, the speed of the attack is increasing. First of all, because of the automation, because of AI. So the attacks are at speed. Secondly, AI, increased number of AI-driven attacks. Another very important vector is attacks based on identity. Okay, very important, because if identity is stolen, an attacker is using the valid identity, most of the cybersecurity solutions are blind, because if they see a valid identity, they allow or they don't block the activity. Okay, so if we look at all the cybersecurity products, tools that build the cybersecurity strategy for customer, we have prevention solution, firewall, privileged access management, endpoint security, DLP. We have monitoring solution to monitor if prevention is working, and we have a recovery solution. So how do I recover my data after successful attack? Why do I present these three pillars of cybersecurity strategy? Because I want to tell you that Labyrinth is purely monitoring solution. Okay, and it's very important, because if you build a project with customer, we want to provide monitoring or improve monitoring capabilities, intrusion detection, early threat detection, based on deception approach, based on deception strategy. So how can I explain with one slide what is the Labyrinth tool doing? Let's ask a question once again. What is the goal, the objective of the cyber criminal, of the hacker? They want to find one simple hole in your, simple or not simple, but one hole in your infrastructure to get in and to perform the attack. What is Labyrinth doing? Labyrinth is putting a lot of fake elements inside the network. Okay? Some people will say, oh, you do honeypots. Not only, we do platform where you can deploy very easy, very fast, full on-premise, huge number of fake systems connected to each other to build a labyrinth of illusion. So if the attacker comes in and touch one of our traps, you get alert. You can block attacker, but you can also play with the attacker, so they waste a lot of time. That's why you see a cat, because our traps are interactive as well. So we want attacker to think that they are on a real system, where actually they are playing with a cat or with a fake element. So what do we provide? Cyber deception platform, and then we have some extensions. Attack vector validation tool, not related to honeypots at all. It's a tool that, based on schedule, is testing some part of networks for good configuration. I give you a very simple example. Let's say that you have a network segment where it is not allowed to connect to internet, or it should not be. So you make attack vector validation scenario, which is constantly trying to connect to internet, constantly, or every 5 minutes, every 1 hour. And if it's successful, you get alert, because it should not be possible. Okay? So we provide a signal of possible misconfiguration that can lead to successful attack. Within our license, you get 3 domains that we will monitor in dark web. So if we see identity leak, we give you alert. Very simple signal of fact that something is going on. and we will have additionally CTI by the end of this year. Okay, so core is deception platform with some extensions. So what are the use cases when you can speak about Labyrinth to make a great project for Labyrinth, or make Labyrinth a complementary solution for another tool that you are providing? Network monitoring, intrusion detection, early threat detection. The three main topics where we want to be active with Labyrinth. All of these topics are very popular, I would say now, because of compliance, NIS2, DORA, critical infrastructure, maybe some Italian compliance, I don't know. But what is very important and what customers don't like is when the product is difficult in usage, because they have limited resources, they want to improve, but they want something easy. Secondly, if it's about monitoring, it's also about monitoring to find detections. And what they are afraid are false positives. Because if they have too much false positive, information overload, it means that the team is busy with actually what? Not attack, verifying, so they start ignoring alerts. So one of the main advantages of Labyrinth is close to zero false positives, not because of our product itself, but because of the architecture and the strategy we are applying. Nobody should play with fake elements. If somebody touch fake element, that it's not a production one, that means that something is going on. Let's look at a simple topology, okay? I have two network segments, VLAN 1, VLAN 2, and DMZ, where I have my servers, okay? So how do I deploy Labyrinth? So we put the fake system among production ones. So we are not like honeypots classic, where you put in internet, you collect telemetry. We are more like a smoke detector inside the room, not outside the house, inside the room. Maybe every room of your house, every network segment, or just critical, okay? We have 40 types of different traps: OT, IT, Siemens, SSH server, FortiGate, Palo Alto firewall, database, file server, FTP server. You put them in the network, and if attacker is managing to get in, start to do reconnaissance, you catch him at the early stage, okay? Very important, for example, for DORA compliance. Another picture, more technical. So we have appliances or virtual, I will explain in a second. Everything is deployed on premise, self-hosted at customer site. But for partners, you can also do MSSP, because we can do admin node with multi-tenancy, and you deploy worker node per customer, and you provide a service, early threat detection as a service, deception as a service. You can call it as you want, okay? This is this introduction session. So if you are interested to know more about the architecture, I will speak later how to get this information. So what platforms do we support? You deploy the product in virtual environment, Hyper-V, Proxmox, VMware. You can deploy it in cloud. Microsoft and AWS are supported. Probably next year we will support Google. But you can also support hardware deployment, okay? For example, you have a customer, multiple locations, and very hard to deploy any software virtualization. I want small box from Intel, from other Lenovo, whatever. No problem, but you buy yourself Lenovo, Dell, HP, okay? We don't provide it. You send us configuration, we approve it, and then we support it. Okay, so you have protection that we give a promise that our software will work on this hardware. Okay, so I think very flexible and another good chance to increase your margin. So who is Labyrinth? Who we are? As you can see on the logo, we are cyber made in Europe, member of European Cybersecurity Organization from Brussels that aggregates made in Europe solutions, founded in 2019, headquartered in Poland, south of Poland, close to Krakow. IQOS is our exclusive distributor for Italy, Malta, Greece, and Cyprus. Okay, and we work only with partners, so it's not possible that we provide price offer to customer directly in all of these countries, always through IQOS. We are now 18 people. Majority of them is R&D, marketing, and we have 3 sales people. I'm a sales, my colleague in Germany, and my colleague in Belgium. Okay, but everywhere we work through channel. Okay, so we always look for distributor. Distributor help us to go to partners, and partners, we support them to win projects with customers. Software only, hardware with local partners. We are sponsor of basketball team in Poland. You can see our logo, Labyrinth. We protect your digital assets, okay? Basketball team, second league, 400 players, a lot of kids. These are 4 owners of the company, so you can see the same hairstyle, no false positive on, on the head. And we won in last 2 years few important awards on European stage. 2 months ago in Brussels, we won Innovation Vendor of the Year at CyberSec Europe. Okay, but we are also CISO Choice Award. And as you can see, we want to have a global product, but we act local. Local partners, local distributor, and we support local sport team. So as I told you, basketball, 400 players, also including kids. So this is our proud team of ladies who were in the Polish finals, and you can see Labyrinth in a very prestigious place on the shirt. It's important for us. Later on, I will share with you this presentation. You can read about Labyrinth at Gartner, G2.com, GigaOM. GigaOM is one of the only analytic company that it's providing so-called GigaOM radar for deception. So where is Labyrinth? Very small picture, no problem. I will zoom for you. So as you can see, Labyrinth is part of the leader section next to Fortinet, Fidelis, Zscaler. Proofpoint is in different place, but probably you recognize some brands. Okay, I don't know if GigaOM is good or not report, but what is important that Labyrinth is among leaders. Okay, that's the message that you need to see. We are not startup. We are company to scale up, and we strongly believe that the best way to scale up in Italy is with IQOS friends. Once again, I want to remind you, because this is the most important message when you speak about Labyrinth. Don't speak about deception. Speak about need to do network monitoring and early threat detection, and Labyrinth is the solution that can do it without false positive. Okay? I'm a big fan of analogy. The power of analogy is great to help customer understand the concept of the product. La forza dell'analogy. I'm building a minefield. You remember? I want to put defenders in better position than attacker. So if I put Labyrinth in the network at decent number of traps, attacker needs to think twice before touching the server. because if you touch the wrong one, you immediately are notified. Okay? Second point, it's not about putting one trap in network segment. You know, I cannot put one mine on a field. It has to be a decent number. Our recommendation is 15% of production system. 15%, the number should be traps. So for example, if your customer has 100 servers and 900 PCs, printers, TV with IP address, Labyrinth traps should be 15% of that number. Smoke detector. Beautiful analogy, because smoke detector is about early threat detection. Okay? But smoke detector, it's also about false positive. How many smoke alarms you have in the office? Not so many. This tool is very silent, but when you hear smoke detector, go out of the building. Okay? So it's the same analogy. Last analogy will be a bit to make you smile. Okay, as you can see, Labyrinth is not doing presentation to frighten customer. We want to give them believe that there are tools to detect AI attacks. Okay, who is a godfather? Oh, I'm speaking in Italy. Who is godfather of deception? You know this guy? Why I put Kevin? Because Kevin knows exactly what is deception strategy, and it also shows how easy is Labyrinth. Do you know this plan from the movie? Putting a lot of traps in the house. So Kevin, if we come back to cybersecurity, knows that sooner or later the attack will come in. So I don't need to build another wall, another fence, another gate, whatever. I'm preparing for the attacker to come, to slow down, to get some time, and basically to make the attack more costly to attacker. Okay? It's a very simple, funny analogy, but you start to think in a different way. So what is the value for the customer? Okay, there are several important things, but I would say 100% on-premise, easy to use, increasing the cost of the attack, not increasing the cost of running the solution, so close to zero false positive, and it can work for IT, OT, okay? Critical infrastructure, government, hospitals, banking sector, everybody can benefit. It's passive solution, does not require changing of the infrastructure. You just add it and it works. Compliance. We are in holiday season. I will not read all of this. I prepared it in Italian. You can later refer to it. All of the compliance will never speak about labyrinth or deception, but they will speak about early threat detection, the need of monitoring, the need of having solution for APT attacks, advanced attacks, where the attacker can sit in the network because they want to build map of your network, okay? Advanced persistent threat, how you want to catch it. If you put number of traps, sooner or later they will touch one or another trap. And then you know somebody is in. So we can, of course, refer to some of your local, as I said, compliance. So there are reasons how to build. But once again, I always advise to you guys, to partners, to build a project of network monitoring based on deception strategy and based on the other tools, dark web, vector attack validation tool. We also have some integrations, okay? We do the integrations for free. okay? And we do the integration as a part of the project, okay? So for example, I have customer who is hospital. They have from Fortinet 40 gate, and they tell me, Pavel, I don't want to observe what attacker is doing. If you detect, please block the IP on FortiGate. And this is the integration we have. Same for French firewall, UTM, Storm Shield, CrowdStrike. We can send logs to NSCM, but with Vazoo, with Splunk, with QRadar, we have extra integration, okay? So the full list is also accessible in documentation. If you guys have idea of interesting integration, we are happy always to discuss. How the solution is priced before I go to the demo. So my strategy is always simplicity, okay? So Labyrinth can have one licensing model, subscription, and license metric is number of traps. How many traps you need? We sell traps in a package of 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on, okay? Example number one. We have customer who has 200 workstations, 20 servers, 10 IP printers, and 3 IP cameras, okay? So if I want to provide to him full scope of Labyrinth, I need to sum up all of the assets, 220, 33. Then I take 15%, so I need 35 points. Point, it's another name for trap, for decoy, for honeypot, okay? And then I have 35 points. We don't have 35 points license because we sell in 10. So 40 points. So 40 points for 40 traps, end user price for 1 year will be 16,000 euro. For 3 years, if you want to pay in advance, it will be 38,000 euro, okay? And for that price, you do network monitoring based on deception, 0 false positive, okay? What is a margin for partner? This is question to ICOS. So you speak with ICOS, you register project at ICOS, and ICOS give you a quote. Okay. Example number 2, a bigger customer, 1,000 workstations, 50 servers, 10 printers, IP cameras, IoT devices. In total, 1,100 assets. 15%, 165 points. We don't have 65, so we need to do 170. Okay? You can see that already price per 10 package is lower. So more you buy, you get better price. 16,000, let's say, euro per year. And 142 euro for 3 years. We can also do 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. And if needed for hospital, government, ministry, we can do also perpetual license. Okay? So perpetual license is plan B, but it's possible. Okay? Demo. So, my friends, I will look at the chat. I see some question. What is the pricing to become MSSP? Okay, very good question. So for MSSP, different price book. Okay, we can have dedicated session, different price book, but very important because we are from Europe. So as a European vendor, zero initial investment. Okay, so you install MSSP Labyrinth, you deploy it in your data center, and we invoice you, or we start invoicing per month, per quarter, per year, based on MSSP when you have first customer. Okay? So you can start, see if there are customers and so on, and when you have first contract, then we start invoicing. Okay? So if you are interested in MSSP, please contact ICOS. ICOS will also provide you, or we can have session together to see how it works, okay? But thank you for the question. So, demo. So I will show you the console. Where is the console? Okay, I need to connect. So I will connect, dear friends, to our lab, labyrinth.tech. If you are interested, we can also give you access to our lab. If you want, you can have NFR license. But if you don't have time to deploy it, even if it's easy, we can give you access to our lab. So I'm a super admin of Labyrinth, so I can see all of the tenants. You see, these are the tenants. So I will just switch to sales demo. I have very basic dashboard. What are the top alarms, how many traps, blah, blah, blah. And it's very basic dashboard for small customers, medium customers, because if we speak to enterprise, anyway, they will send alerts to XDR or to CM, and they will have different dashboard there. What is the philosophy of the solution? So first of all, you configure subnet, network segment, where you would like to put honeypots, the points. So as you can see, I have 3 networks here. They are connected, and we do through VLAN ID the tagging through trunk. And then if I go to details, I need to tell how many traps, and I put the number, I want of a given type. So these are all of the types that we have. Windows, PLC, Palo Alto. I can send you later also access to documentation, and you can read yourself. So you just tell how many traps you want to have. And as you can see, you are consuming the license when you increase this. So you know exactly per tenant how many licenses you have and how many you are eating. After you submit, you can see all of your traps if they are running. Each trap has its own IP address and MAC address. Okay, let's maybe have one example. Maybe we can see. Okay, let's take this one. This is a trap for Siemens PLC. Okay, but for some reason it's not working. Some demo effect. Okay, Siemens PLC. I can click, I can see, and it looks like a Siemens PLC, but of course it's a fake system created by Labyrinth. Very important, all of the traps are developed by Labyrinth. We don't use any teapot, open source. Everything is R&D at Labyrinth, okay? So this is Siemens. Now, every trap is coming with a configuration, okay? You can change the configuration, change services, MAC addresses, users. For example, if I have a Linux server, I will not put user Pavel in Italy. In Italy, it will be Paolo or Pablo, I don't know, but Paolo will be the user. So you can customize the list of users, which are then later triggered on the server. Okay, so that's customizable, and you can customize it as you wish. All of the alerts are accessible as well here. And for each alert, you get pickup. So you have raw data of the traffic that triggered the alert. You have MITRE mapping. And of course, depending on the alert, you will get additional details if you are interested for some forensic, okay? So you can check For example, if it was web scanner or it was try to log in to some page, what was the user agent, or if it's SSH trap, you will see all the commands that were executed and so on. Of course, all of these alerts can be sent through integration to SIEM. You can also send notification to Slack, to Microsoft Teams, or simply through email. Okay? So we detect, we send email. We detect, we send Slack information. We detect, we send it to Vazuk, to SIEM, Syslog, and so on. Okay? It's also possible to immediately do action. As I described before, FortiGate, CrowdStrike, what else? Trellix. I can do immediate action. Later on, if you have time, you can go to YouTube, Labyrinth Deception, and you will find our channel, okay? On our channel, if you go to playlist, you have integrations with third-party products. So for every integration we do, you can find a movie. So for example, Pavel, I'm interested in Storm Shield. I'm interested in Fortinet integration. You just click and you can watch what is this integration about. Or you can share to customer so they think, okay, it's interesting. I want to know more. I want POC. I want to test Labyrinth and so on. So it's a great tool for partners as well to very quickly provide additional information for your potential customers. Okay. So coming back to our console. Okay. Okay. Now, coming back to presentation, of course, there are some additional options, like, for example, trusted IP. If you have a vulnerability scanner in your network, you can add it as a trusted IP just to avoid false alarms, because if vulnerability scanner will touch our traps, of course, there will be an alert because we have a lot of vulnerabilities in our traps. So there are ways, of course, how to properly configure this. But I can tell you the console is very easy. The implementation is very simple. For partners, we provide NFR license. And if you are interested after this presentation, we can also provide you access to our knowledge base. Okay? And knowledge base is our documentation. In our documentation, you can read about all of the things I already told you. You can download the installation image, and then you can also, for example, see, okay, how much resources do I need to deploy Labyrinth? Okay, it's very simple. All the information is here. If we speak about the resources, of course, it will depend how many decoys you want to deploy. But we are very proud of the fact that we are very lightweight solution. So if you compare, I don't know, requirements to another network monitoring solutions like NDR, Darktrace, Vectra, of course, we are not the same. It's a different concept, but for effectiveness, when we test during red team and so on, we are also detecting a lot of things, but effort to deploy is completely different. We are much more easier, much more faster, and so on. Okay? But I wanted to share with you the documentation is very good. You want to install on VMware, we provide all the instructions step by step as it should be done. Okay? So if you want to have access to knowledge base, please send information to ICOS. I want to access to documentation. I need just a name and email address, and we will give you access. No problem at all. You can read all of the stuff. There is a lot of good content on this portal. So this is, of course, introduction session. So demo is very short, but Just wanted to give you a feeling of the console. So what are the next steps? As a partner of ICOS, you get free NFR license. So you can deploy, you can use for demo. If you don't want to do it, you can also get access to our demo platform and do a presentation from there. If you are partner of ICOS, you will get access to documentation. We can support you with proof of concept, proof of value to your customers. We can train your team. Of course, if the training is done by me, I don't speak Italian, so it will be in English. And of course, budgeting rule is very simple. You tell ICOS this number of points we need. We make a quote, variant, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever you need, we will provide you. Okay? So at this moment, I'd like to thank you for your attention and for participating in this first webinar. I think there will be more webinars, and I also think we will be more seen on some events in Italy together with ICOS. So each time you see us, it would be very great to say hello and also, of course, to do business together. I don't know. From my side, that's all. If there are any questions or Q&A, I see it's empty. Chat, MSSP, I replied to that. But still, it's introduction session. So if you are interested to work with us, please tell ICOS, and I'm happy to support.
Grazie mille Pavel, grazie mille.
Prego.
Grazie soprattutto per la presentazione molto diretta e anche divertente quando hai fatto vedere la strategia di Kevin. Very funny. Grazie a tutti per essere stati presenti in questo webinar, per averci dedicato questo tempo. Come ha detto Pavel durante e alla fine della sua presentazione, qualunque domanda non esitate a contattare ICOS, cercheremo di rispondervi nel modo più completo possibile. Qualora foste interessati, organizzeremo anche una call con Labyrinth, con Pavel, quindi contattateci senza alcun tipo di problema. Vi arriverà una mail nella giornata di domani con all'interno la presentazione e le slide che ha presentato Pavel e la registrazione del webinar, quindi potrete rivedere tutto già da domani. In caso di domande, vi ripeto, contattate ICOS e noi vi risponderemo. Pavel, thank you for your time and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Hope to
Grazie a
see you
tutti.
soon. Grazie. Bye.
Bye, bye. Grazie a tutti, buona giornata.